Hey guys, this is Scott from Code 4 Performance, bringing you a video today on my solution and what I think is probably one of the most rugged and dependable ways to mount and power your Tech Voyager Pro that I've been able to find on the market. This video is based on several comments and questions I've had on the setup on my 2022 350 EXCF that I used for the Tour of Idaho this year, and I thought I would go over this video highlighting in a little more detail the mount system and how I powered it. As you know, when you buy your Tech Voyager Pro, it comes with the plastic dock. And I really think that's the root of a lot of the problems that guys are having with the Trail Techs. Plastic expands and contracts with temperature changes. That's mounted out in the elements in the sun. Expansion can cause the pins to lose contact with the back of the Trail Tech, and there is a lot of your power issue. Power problems is in those pins. Just not the greatest setup for dirt biking. And this video, I should back up, is really intended for how to mount your Trail Tech on your dirt bike, particularly the European bikes, your KTMs, Husqvarnas, Gas, anything with fuel injection in both the 2-stroke and the 4-stroke is what this video is intended for. Although you can mount the Trail Tech on any dirt bike with 12-volt power. So yeah, plastic dock, I think that's the source of many of guys' frustrations and problems with the Trail Tech. Get rid of that. Go with their aluminum dock. Here's the part number. I just got this one from Trail Tech directly this last week. I think it was 79 bucks, 80 bucks plus some shipping. There's the part number. Back to the aluminum dock. This is a well machine built piece of aluminum. It's very, very thick down in here. It has the standard amps 4-hole mounting platform. It's kind of industry standard. This aluminum plate behind it is part of the stout mount system from Moto, so that does not come with the aluminum dock. So let's talk about that really quick. So this stout mount from Moto, you can get it in 2 different versions. This particular version here is intended to be incorporated with BRP wraparound handguard mounts, bar clamp handguard mounts. They also make a stout mount plate if you don't use the wraparound style mounts, and you can get more information on those on Moto website. Those guys build some killer products. Very ingenuitive guys, always coming up with solutions. Pretty cool products if you haven't checked out their website. So how this mounts on the bike, let's go over here to the bike. This is my 2021 300, and what I decided to do was put a mount, wiring harness, etc. on this and be able to swap the Voyager Pro back and forth between my 350 and the 300. So here, take this back off again. Here's the BRP handguard mount system that I like to run. I run Cycra full wraps, and here's the BRP bar clamp system, which is threaded for your wraparound. Just takes the place of the standard 2-bolt, your bar clamp. On this bike and on a lot of my other bikes, I like to run steering damper, so I've got the BRP sub mount. However, their stout mount system, both these clamps and the bar clamps that don't have the wraparound, will work without the sub mount, just with your standard bar mounts off the triple clamp. So what this does, it sits in here, and as you can see, you can still loosen your bar clamp, top bolts, and down it's held in place with these 2 8mm button head Allen bolts, one on each side, with a nylock nut, stainless washer nylock nut on the bottom side. That's how it secures. Super solid mount. Of course, your wires can run down under your speedometer and pick up your power, make all your connections, tuck it nice behind the headlight mask. That's how I ran it on my 350 for the tour. Had zero problems with that. Worked great. The other part of the, I think, is how you're going to power your Trail Tech. Now it comes with, let's back to the bench. It comes with just a direct wire power and ground, which you can run back to your battery. This is what I have found to be, I think, one of the cleanest solutions out on the market, and it's from Moto. It's their Accessory Power Relay Kit, designed for, like I said, the European bikes, KTM, Husqvarna's, Gas. Fuel injected 2-stroke and 4-stroke. So my 350 is a 2022 that I had all this on originally for the tour, and my 300 is a 2021. But how this system works is your diagnostic connector, which normally, let's go to the bike, it's probably down in the airbox on this side, could be under the ECU, under the seat somewhere, and it's got a plug on it. One of these plugs, it's a dummy plug to keep the water out of it. But in this plug, you have got a wire, and it will be this this orange wire right here. When the engine is running, that supplies a very, very low amp 12 volt output, which then triggers the relay, which you've got wired directly to your battery with your power and ground connections off your battery terminals. It energizes the relay, and then we'll send power out to these two wires, a ground and a 12 volt power out and your ground, which you could then hook your accessories to. On my 350, I had heated hand grips run off this, a USB outlet, and my Trail Tech power. Yeah, it's only fused at 25 amps, which is, I think, is probably a little bit too much given the size of the wire. I think these are only 18 gauge wires. Although your wire run from the battery to behind your mask is not that far. I would only use it for low amperage connections. Like your Trail Tech, I think, is fused at 3 amps, 2.5 amps. Heated grips are about the same, 3 amps. USB outlets 5, so you're not drawing that much power off of here, but that's about the extent of the amount of amp draw I would run off of this accessory relay. The cool thing about this relay is it's the same one for your fan and your ECU, so you could carry an extra or swap out one of these if you have a relay that goes bad on you. Carry an extra fuse here, just a mini fuse. If I can get, I'm going to take the lid off, but just an ATM mini fuse. And then the other part of it is I would definitely put an inline fuse holder right here near this connection point, so your power harness that you're going to make up behind your headlight to power your accessories is protected with the fuse. So it'll always be fused as closest to the battery source as possible. That, on my 350, I tucked it right here in the right side airbox. Just mounted it right here using a zip tie and a zip tie adhesive mounting tab. Basically, it's one of these, which I just had stuck right there, and you run a zip tie through these slots in here, tie it in there. Worked really well. Feed your wires up through nice and clean so they don't get pinched by the seat, and bang, you're good to go. Worked great for me. Then I just left that diagnostic plug tucked down in here. I'll feed this down in through here, and everything's nice and tidy, clean, out of the way. You don't have anything hanging down in the airbox. Your inline fuses for your accessory harness can be also kept in here. Not super accessible in the event you need to change a fuse. You would have to pull the silencer off and this side plastic. Another option would be to, if you watched one of my previous videos on my 350 build, I had a fuse block assembly placed right down here on the left side, which of course is behind the air filter cover. That is an option there. I'll probably do that on this bike. I just need to order up one of those fuse blocks. Watch my previous video on my 350 build that goes over that. But just a couple options for where to put your fuses. Again, I think that is probably the slickest way to do it. And again, this is only active when the bike is running. After you shut the bike off, there's a short few second delay, kills power to the relay, kills power to all your accessories. That way, if you had heated hand grips and you just left the switch on and you walked away from your bike for 15-20 minutes, chances are you might have a low battery, especially if your battery's weak to begin with. And this just provides just that extra layer of you're guaranteed not to leave. If you leave something on, you're not going to have a dead battery. So quick review, Moto minded stout mount with the Trail Tech aluminum dock. There's the part number, 80 bucks. Moto's accessory power relay kit. Just go to his website, takomotoco.com. He has a video on how to install this as well, so I really won't go into the install of it. The only thing I've added to is I put some silicone down in the back side of here just to keep the moisture out of there, and put dielectric grease on the contacts where the relay plugs in. He's also filled the empty cavities of this plug with silicone, so you're not going to get water into the diagnostic plug. Uses good heat shrink connections on the battery, power, and ground. Pretty well built piece of equipment right there, and it really works. It's well worth the money. I think this is $49 if I'm not mistaken. So that's the setup that works for me. What you can do is keep your plastic dock that came with your Trail Tech. Buy their 110 wall charger plug, which then will plug into the power lead on your plastic dock. You can charge your Trail Tech when it's not on the bike. I think that's about it. That's the setup that works for me. If you like, please subscribe. And if you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below. I'll answer them as best I can. Get out and ride, guys. Have a good day.